William Barr, you said you've met with him when he was in private practice. Is it surprising? Is it a surprising turn for you? He served in George H.W. Bush's presidency. George H.W. Bush's son, George W. Bush, described asylum seekers like the ones that Mr. Barr now wants to see jailed indefinitely as people coming here as an act of love for their families. It's just an extraordinary turn from the Republican Party that William Barr served when he served several Republican presidents ago. I
think you know this, Nicole, which is in the legal community and in most policy communities, there are Democrats, there are Republicans, there are people who disagree with each other on policy, but at the end of the day, they try to respect the bounds of law. And I think what's disturbing, what's concerning, and it ties to both the immigration issue and this overall Russia investigation issue, is here we have a president who, according to some senior national security officials who I've spoken to in recent weeks, the president said, "Do it, I know it's illegal, I'll pardon you." I mean, that's the way the president operates. He views that...
Break the law.
Exactly, and I will pardon you.
Because I'm above the law.
That's right. And his view is essentially that of an authoritarian regime, a dictatorship, which is there should be no checks and balances, there should be no constraints because I was elected president. And I think it's the job of officials who are sworn to uphold the Constitution, particularly in the Department of Justice, particularly in the Office of the Attorney General, to push back against that.
When the founders were drafting the Constitution and talking about the impeachment clause and talking about impeachment, that situation is something they discussed. What if a president abused his pardon power to pardon officials after ordering them to do something illegal? Just extraordinary.
Let me bring into this conversation Chuck Rosenberg, who knows a lot about everything we're talking about. Chuck, do you think that another effort to spin this in the president's favor after already putting his finger on the scale in terms of rendering a judgment on that obstruction investigation that Mueller refused to render is something that the president is seeking or has at least expressed happiness with?
Well, so great question. I am troubled by what I've seen. I start off by telling everybody I thought Barr was a principled institutionalist, and the data coming in over the transom sort of undercuts that notion. And so I'm really wondering tomorrow whether we see the Barr I expected we would see all along, or the Barr that seems to be playing a song that the president loves to hum. And so I don't really know what to expect anymore. There's a lot of discordant data about Bill Barr, in my view. And you know this, Nicole, it's really hard sometimes when you form an opinion about someone or something to receive data in a neutral way so that you change your opinion. We all have confirmation bias. We tend to filter data into buckets of, sort of existing beliefs. So I'm hoping to see the old Barr because the new Barr has been disappointing to me.
The question you asked a minute ago, that, why would anyone have faith in Bill Barr at this point? That's the problem with his actions. I'm a Democrat. I want to have faith that the Republican Attorney General is doing the right thing. I know I'm going to disagree with the Republican Attorney General on policy, but I want to trust that the administration of justice is going to be handled in an impartial way. And every step of the way, he just keeps giving us more and more reason not to trust him. Going back to the very reason he was appointed. Your analogy about the defense, the defense getting to write the rebuttal. The defense team picked the prosecutor here. They picked a prosecutor that they know had a view of obstruction of justice that was favorable to their client, and now the defense team is announcing that the prosecutor is going to come out and announce the results of the end of the investigation. It stinks from the beginning, and there's no way that anyone that looking at this with a reasonable mind can have faith in Bill Barr. And that's a problem, because we ought to just be able to look at the facts in this report and judge the facts free from anyone's spin.
And this gets made into